Virgo, how are you? Welcome to Tarot with March. We are going to do a little check-in for you mid-July. We have the Feels Tarot for you, and we're going to jump into your reading pretty quickly because it feels like the energy around you is really potent right now. Originally, I was going to do a Sagittarius reading instead, but very quickly I felt drawn to your energy. So there might be something about you being guided or sensing like maybe you should be avoiding a particular Sagittarius or kind of just, I don't know, ignoring them, swerving around them in some way. And something I was thinking about was moving through the rest of the mutable signs because I already did Gemini today. So I said, oh, I'll do Sagittarius. And then I kind of like got this weird ick from the Sagittarius energy, which is so weird. And then I went immediately to you, and I was thinking about you as mutable earth and like really what that meant for you when it was this idea of like the maiden, the undiscovered, really like breaking ground in order to dig up, right? To create harvest, to then separate like the root from the tear. And you as a mutable earth sign, like being really nuanced and complex in how you kind of like walk out your little elemental journey. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands, planning. And these remind me a lot of when we went to plant our garden in our backyard, which is the second summer we've done this now. And in the winter, we pick out what we want to grow. In the spring, this whole room, if you remember from the winter, is set up with like big purple grow lights. I have marigolds in the front that have been growing since seed. It's a lot of like planning. So this reminds me of like a hoe and a pitchfork and like Farmer Brown in the backyard, like getting ready to like break the soil and plant the seeds. And so I feel like you are one, maybe there's something about Sagittarius energy that is like tempting or attractive to you. Maybe there is a Sagittarius who is the archer, right? Maybe there is something about like the hunt, going on the hunt that you've been like thinking about in your mind. Again, there might be a specific Sagittarius person that like you were considering dealing with in some way. Then now all of a sudden it's almost like this Lazarus, I'm awake, I'm aware, I'm paying attention, I'm out of the fog type of energy. We're going, no way, I'm not going on the hunt. I have my own soil to till over here. I have everything I need. I just have to separate and organize it. Or like, oh my God, no, I don't want to be dealing with that Sagittarius. I need to be dealing with this kind of thing over here, or these type of people over there. So really like, oh my God, I just woke up. I need to get my shit together, like type of energy, which is so interesting. But this idea of you like tilling the soil and starting fresh, breaking new ground. And even there's a sense of like doing things kind of like by yourself. I don't know if you were waiting to do something or get a ball rolling. Maybe you were waiting on a Sagittarius, maybe something about Sagittarius season, right? Like November was significant here. But there's something about, oh, I can do this much more easily, much quicker, much more streamlined without a lot of fuss if I just do it myself. And there's also kind of like a private energy here as well. Maybe some of it's trickled over from the Scorpio reading, but there's still a feeling of like, I'm just going to go about my business and I'm just going to till the soil and I'm not even going to tell anybody like what I'm doing. So there might be something about an added cloak of secrecy or privacy or playing your cards to your chest right now, not giving people information they don't need about what you're doing, especially when your seeds are still young and vulnerable or maybe not even like fully in the soil yet. Now, the shufflemancy, which is a form of music divination, Virgo, and I'll put the songs in the description box for you so you can kind of listen and meditate to them on your own, catch a vibe. The song that had come on was Monster by Kanye West, Jay-Z, I think like Nicki Minaj. Like it's really, actually, it's like a collection of problematic people that had made this song. And I listened to the song in college, like a lot. Monster, blah, blah, blah. But I was actually watching something this morning really early, and they were talking about the song Monster. And specifically like some background in the recording that when they were producing the song, Kanye West almost took out Nicki Minaj's portion because he felt like she out-rapped him. Now, eventually there was like a final call made, and obviously like she's in the song, right? But there's something about like this song popping up because this monster, every, like, that didn't like really resonate or fit in with your energy. And in Scorpio's reading, I noticed that the shufflemancy felt like it was communicating about like someone else, like in the energy, not Scorpio themselves. And I feel a bit of this for you as well. So your tuners, your little psychic radar, your little spidey senses might be picking up really loudly other people's energy. So make sure to not confuse it with your own, Virgo. But again, like that monster song, I'm like, you're not in monstrous energy. You don't feel like you are in that vibe. And it has more to do with, again, maybe this is a person or a Sagittarius or something that like you had to decide to move around, navigate around. Maybe this is like someone or a circumstance where by showing up, because she's not even like the main person on that song. Nicki Minaj, she like comes in at the end. That like you were just like a small addition. You were supposed to be like non-consequential. You were just supposed to be like an afterthought in a certain place, doing a certain thing around a certain group, but somehow like you really like stole the show. I know that like if I do listen to that song, I could kind of care less about everyone else's raps except Nicki's at the end, right? And so I wonder if, again, like you are meant to be and just a small addition to a person, a place, or thing, and you ended up like stealing the show in some way, and there was like an intentional effort to kind of like cut you out of it because it felt like you were stealing the limelight. I was watching this nature documentary by David Attenborough, of course, the king of documentaries, and they were talking about these like big monsteras that were like growing in the jungle somewhere, and how they were blocking out like all of the light from the life that was growing underneath them, and how those different organisms, those different plants, they would fight the monstera. It's like to get to the light. There's even like a special plant that would like vine upwards and grab onto the monstera leaves and try to like pull them down to like allow the light to like shine on the jungle or like the forest floor. And I almost feel like you are that, maybe that's so funny, monster. You're not a monster, but you are a monstera. That you are like a little seed, right? It's like God is breaking ground and you're like a little seed planted in, but you just grow so big, you grow so wide, and like mutable earth, you can kind of like exist anywhere. You could kind of grow under any conditions, similar to a maiden, right? A maiden is someone who is young, is unexperienced, untouched, can be put in a variety of different places, and like a sponge, they grow, they adapt, and they begin to reflect that environment. And so like kind of through no fault of your own, you do seem to like absorb a lot of the sunlight. You take up a lot of space, but you're meant to, right? That's part of the gig. And so it feels as though, again, there's maybe something or someone that really didn't appreciate that and tried to like kind of cut you out of the mixtape. And maybe they actually did for a period of time. But a couple of the songs underneath it are Heard 'Em Say, by another song by Kanye West, which is interesting. And then you have that song Titanium by Sia. And then you also have this song Seize the Power by this artist called YONAKA. And I really like that song a lot. And there's a particular line in it where she goes, I do what I want, it's refreshing. And I feel like that's the energy that you're in now. You're realizing that maybe there have been like several attempts to kind of cut you out of something that was kind of rightfully yours to absorb, yours to be a part of. And you're realizing, you know what? I can just cut them out of the situation. I can be a freelancer. When it popped in my head, freeloader. So there might actually be something here, I'm just going to Gemini. There might be something here, Virgo, about you, though your contribution in certain areas may seem kind of small, that actually like you have such a big impact. And there might be like some jealousy around that. People be feeling like, oh, Virgo is a freeloader, they don't do much. But the part that you do like completely blows everyone else out of the water. It's like we could give you 10% of the project, but you may as well be pulling 100% of the results. And it's not your fault if 90% of someone else's effort, their attendance, their energy isn't like cutting the mustard. You know, you could do 10% and it may as well be 100. That's not your fault if their 90 basically adds up to 0. Like that's not your problem. That's between them and themselves, them and God, them and whatever, right? And so likewise, you seem to be cutting them out, or maybe again, swerving a Sagittarius going, I don't need to hunt. I don't need to be a monster. I don't need to deal with these people or these places or these things. I have my own backyard. I'll go till my own soil. And I like the idea of like titanium. It's like, I wonder if you're like, I'm preparing, I'm steeling myself, I'm like getting ready to like do some work here. And that's where we meet this kind of like seize the power. I do what I want, it's refreshing type of energy. So you also have the Ace of Cups underneath this planning here. And so I also feel like you're in this, I don't know, time of envisioning, Virgo, of how to build what you've already experienced, but this time like out of love. It's the idea of, well, I've gotten that service, and I've been in an environment, I've been in a club or a group like that before, but there was a lot of pettiness, there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of backstabbing, there was a lot of nonsense. What if there was a group? What if there was a class? What if there was a business? What if there was a place where we didn't have any of that hogwash, and instead we got to focus on love or productivity or friendship or something like that? Yeah, with the Lovers underneath. And then the Emperor. You also seem with this howling of the white wolf, you also seem to be like putting out a call. It feels like a booming, like this energetic spiritual booming that comes from you. So it feels like you're putting out this kind of mystic, intuitive, witchy call into the universe saying, it's me. It's almost like deciding to answer the call, deciding to pick up the mantle, almost like your, how do I want to say this? Your pride in the past would not allow you to go, I am the one. I am the one who's called. I am the one who's meant to do this. It's me. And so you would try to like share the weight of that anointing by like sharing it with everyone else. No, it's us. Come in. We're going to do this together. And then realizing, no, I'm not doing it with this group of bobbleheads that don't even know how to treat each other right. Actually, it's not you. It is me. It is me the whole time. Really like powerful, but in that, again, I feel like a lot of resistance and a lot of nonsense. It just seems to like drift away because you're no longer making something a group project that was only meant to be like a collaboration between you and the divine. And we have the Prince of Discs, but I read it as the Prince of Whales. Take that for whatever you want. And it says reliability. And I feel like this is very reflective of your earth energy of like, actually, I'm going to be the one that gets it done because I'm the only one who takes it seriously. I'm the only one who enjoys this. I'm the only one who's reliable, right? No wonder the divine picked me. So Ace of Swords at the bottom, clarity. So I also like to see you, I don't know, Virgo, with like a little bit of attitude, like a little bit of swagger, a little bit of like, yeah, I am the lucky bitch. What are you gonna do about it? Up your game. Like, it's sassy, yes, but not untrue. So we are gonna take this over into your extended reading because I'm really curious, like how you, I almost see like muscles, like how you like bulk out in this energy and like what you get done. They're showing me like really big shovels. They're showing me like those big, I don't know what they're called, like those big cranes that like do the big scoops, those they're showing me those. So we're gonna explore that over on Patreon in your extended. So if you're interested, Virgo, in like continuing this story, if you are interested in your monthly reading for July or even a personal one-on-one reading with me, all of that's going to be in the description box for you. Come and follow me on social media. Let's hang out, read my blog. That will be down below. I love you so much, and I will see you in the extended. Goodbye.